Welcome to another live edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline in the BPTV studios. I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. Got Smokin' Jim Frazier, Chip Hayner, Nick Callis. We got a full crew. Thanks for watching us on Comcast 7, only in Bethel Park. Thanks for watching us on Verizon 32 in the greater Pittsburgh area, from Nemacolin to Cranberry, Wexford, and all points in between. Thanks for watching us on Facebook Live. Go to Pittsburgh Sportsline if you got your TV on. Just go there and check us out online at Pittsburgh Sportsline. We'll see you there. Got my bright red shirt for San Francisco on. So just different things like that. And we got plenty of sports to talk about. First week of the NFL came on. So we'll be talking about that. And let's see. We got some promos here. We got Ryan, one of our great interns, right on the camera. Look at this. No hands. Olive Oil's Pizzeria, Hillcrest Shopping Center. They sponsor our TV show with an XL pepperoni pizza and a 6-slice hoagie. They only left Smokin' Jim a half a cut tonight, so he's going to do his best not to eat too much during the show. So we'll see what happens. They got great Italian food, salads, desserts, you name it, Italian ice. And my man Rico, I found out, making the pizzas from Puerto Rico.
Really?
Yeah, he's a Puerto Rican guy making pizza for my co-host Smokin' Jim. I don't know who or what he is tonight, but he's Smokin' Jim Frazier.
Is that in honor of the eve of Roberto Clemente Day?
Yes.
There you go.
Thank you, Chip. I was hoping you'd fill in the gaps. Smokin' Jim doesn't understand what that is at the Pirate game.
Really don't.
He has 1,000. He has 1,000 free tickets, but not for Roberto Clemente night. Now, who in their right mind would even give him 1,000 tickets when he's only been to 2 or 3 innings with Chip and I, and maybe once or twice that he said he went to a game, where a couple times he handed out tickets and left before the game started.
Can I?
Yeah.
How have you been to Roberto Clemente's game where he got his 3,000th hit, but not know what day he celebrated in baseball?
Very easily. He's smoking.
That's tough.
No, let me explain to all our fans. He's Smokin' Jim, and Nick, you're not. That's how simple it is. All right, back to Olive Oil's Pizzeria, 412-831-1900. Call them up. They were very busy today when I went in there, and I had to wait an extra 25 minutes to get our pizza done. We were all backed up there, and it was delicious. So check them out. Give them a call. Next up, 501c3, Joey Fabus, before he had DIPG, after he had DIBG, that's a dreaded brain cancer. And they started the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation. I got some stats. I was saying he was 9 years old. It was 8 years old that he died a month before his birthday, and it's been 6 years since he died. So we were at the Joey Fabus walk and run on Bethel Park on Sunday. Over 450 people were there in the race, and there probably had to be 500-600 more people, family and friends there. It was a great event. And that's up on TV. You can check it out, the Joey Fabus 5K 1 mile walk. So you'll hear the talking machine interviewing everybody that was there. No, just a few people. Check that out. All right. Next up, Bethel Park Historical Society Schoolhouse Arts and History Center. Look at the work Ryan's doing. That is perfect. We got A2 watching them directly, so they came in together, a partnership from school, and they're almost done with their little internship, and I feel special and honored. They said they're going to keep coming back until they get a job for Pittsburgh Sportsline. So thank you, guys. And that's truly Anthony and Ryan, with Anthony in the control room, just to be confusing. And Bethel Park Historical Society Arts and History Center. It's been 1905 schoolhouse, been renovated fully. They have a dance studio, they have an artist there, and they have my favorite tea house, Reginald's Coffee, fresh roasted coffee from around the world. They have a roaster right in the coffee house, so it's fresh coffee. People rave about it. I know plenty of people told me, no offense meant, but I like to support local business. They said it's better than Starbucks. So check it out, and tell them Al Levine, the Talking Machine, sent you. And they're going to have some events there. See this painting here that Jono did here? I don't know if you can get back behind that. Can you get that painting? That's Three River Stadium. Jono's going to have an event in October at the Bethel Park Historical Society. And his wife Maria is a great artist herself. So check it out. Find out some more information. Go to Bethel Park Historical Society's Facebook page. All right, that's what I got there for my friends. Next up, Always Be Smiling. It's a Facebook page. These friends of mine, Kristen and Dean, started for their son Bennett. That's where they got the B. He was always smiling. He had 2 kidney transplants, the last one from his dad, Dean. Died at 16 and a half due to complications. And he had a lot of issues, but he was always smiling. The parents decided to start a 501c3. Smoking Jim, that's a nonprofit, not just letters and numbers. And that's legal. You get a lawyer to do it, not Smoking Jim's friends or sweeties.
Not Macaroni Tony, huh?
No. Not at all. And they do great things in the area. Please like their Facebook page. They're trying to boost it up. They just started it. And they do a lot of great things for kidney transplant patients and people with kidney issues. So check it out, and it's Always Be Smiling. Next up, another 501c3. Let's see what he does. Wow. Right on the money. Brian's on fire. This is the first time he's been on the camera for all the time. I don't know what happened there. He's one of the quietest guys we've ever had in the studio, so I know what it's like. I used to be shy, believe it or not. Somehow I grew out of it.
I doubt it.
I was. I'll tell you one of the stories off air, Chip. It'll blow your mind.
If you drink Irish whiskey, you be quiet too.
Smoking Jim. We don't know what Smoking Jim's drinking. He never had a drink, but somehow he's talking like a drunk.
You sure that's ginger ale in there, Smoking?
Yeah, I don't understand what he's even talking about. But back to Bethel Park Community Foundation, they have money for you, not Smoking Jim ever. If he shows you a photo of a Bitcoin machine, it doesn't mean he has Bitcoins. And if he tells you about his investment, he didn't even tell me last week when Bitcoins went up. He had lost money, and then I told him, you made money. He goes, what do you mean, machine? So that's what he knows about Bitcoins, folks, at least privately. On air, he's an expert. But check him out, contact him, get an application. I'm a trustee on the board. We meet on the 23rd. Get your app and be there and present why you need money to help make better groups in Bethel Park. All right, I have some good news about Kathleen Miller. You know, I've been trying to get people to donate a kidney. She got a tentative approval for somebody to get a kidney and donate it. So it's not for sure, but we will know out. So thank you if somebody did it from our show. We appreciate it. If not, we appreciate your interest. I'll just share it again. livingdonorreg.upmc.com. Again, livingdonorreg. You can give a kidney. If it doesn't match Kathleen, they can trade them, and we will deal with the kidneys through the kidney bank. So check it out. All right, we got this good sheet, right, Nick? Remember when A1 got it for me? Let's see. Look at what he did on this one. Perfectly centered. Brian's on fire. He hasn't moved a muscle. Look at him. And that is a nice hat, Smoking. I want you for BPTV. Tell them Uncle Al wants you for BPTV, 412-831-3304. tell Dave Cable you want to be like Nick, you want to be like Ryan, you want to be like A2, you want to be like A1. And whatever happened to the new intern, this is 2 weeks in a row that he hasn't showed up. And I heard he was recommended, and you won't believe it, folks, because I'm still shocked, by, first of all, Nick, I understand that.
Yeah,
But he's endorsed by Smoking Jim Frazier.
He's on CP time.
Well, Smoking Jim is a producer at PCTV, and he had to do editing, and he said he passed the class, and he couldn't show me one thing to do editing. But you can be here, too, if you're in high school. You're more than welcome. I know some of you watch the show, and just contact 412-831-3304. Now we got the big test of the day. Let me get it out here. Little drum roll, Nick. You got it? All right. Here's the test. We'll see what Ryan can do.
Bang!
Oh,
Bada bing!
Woo!
Boom!
that might be one of the best pops. Look at it. You can read it. I don't even have to talk about it. Skeet Service Station. Look at that. I'm not even shaking tonight. Smoking Jim, how's my nails?
It's good. Good.
I want to see what those 1-inch long fingernails that you
Look
got.
like you got roses behind you. Bouquet of roses behind you, bro.
Smoking Jim, this is a shirt.
Okay,
It's a polo.
look like I'm just saying.
I gave you one this color. I never see it out. It must be in your wash bin for 2 years. The wash basket. Sorry, I'm moving a little here. 6103 Library Road, and that's in Finleyville, about 6 miles from the station here. Every Monday they have a smorgasbord. Anything that runs on gas, they fix it. Electronic devices, they work on that too. So bring it there and they'll do a good job on it. And they just like my new car, gave me a nice oil change a couple weeks ago. They can do the same for you. All right. They sponsor What's on Our Mind and Smoking Jim Frazier. Oh, I hate to ask this question. Sorry. Let me take a deep breath. What's on your mind, Smoking Jim Frazier?
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
Coming at you.
you got to see Levine.
Well, you didn't look like Najee Harris there.
Great one, Jim.
But hey, I got to salute our captain, A1. Never a hero out of place. Does a good job, captain of the team, A1 Anthony. And I tell you what, my main man Ryan, best editor I know. And I tell you what, Al Levine, the talking machine, I thought I was all swagged out today, but I can't live up to Tony.
Time
The
out.
biggest player I know. You see that? You see that pretty girl on
A2,
his,
put me on the camera.
You see that pretty girl on the front of his
Get that camera off
hoodie?
Smoking Jim. Time out. A2 can tell you off air, I predicted that Smoking Jim would go crazy about the swag you're wearing. Just shake your head, A2. Was I right? Thank you, Smoking Jim.
And we got the VIP of BPTV. And I tell you what, high diddle, chip up the middle for a double welcome back. But I tell you what, Al Levine, the talking machine,
What?
I'm changing my name. Last name Coin, first name Bit. Just call me Bitcoin. Ocho Cinco, world be free. I'm changing my name, Al. I'm rolling in it.
I got to
Meta peace.
disclaim.
Yeah, meta peace.
I got to disclaim this. He showed me a Bitcoin machine on a phone, on a text message. Said, machine, I'm not lying. I never said he's lying. I just said he tells some stories where he embellishes them a little bit.
Yeah, I was going to say embellish is a good word.
Yeah, embellish is the word. And I know he got to look it up in his Funkin' Wagnalls. I got a dictionary here.
You brought that out in the wall.
I had to because, you know, he's only as good as the last person he talked to. And somebody keeps talking to him every day about Bitcoins. And what does he bring up? Here, get a close-up. We're going to test Ryan on this. 1905, or no, wait, what is it, a 1909? Oh, here we go. We'll see what can Ryan do.
Look that up in your Funkin' Wagnalls.
Yes, thank you, Chip. You know my verbiage. Look at this, folks. 1909 dictionary. Lois Brenner gave me this dictionary years ago because I always questioned Smoking Jim, why he didn't know a word like cat. I mean, I gave him 2 letters, C-A, and I said, look it up. And sorry, I paraphrased that from somebody else.
Hollywood.
Yes. I didn't want to mention he was a cowboy. But, well, thank you, Ryan. That was great. And Smoking Jim, you'll have to look that up. And the reason why I know you won't change your name is, do you know it costs money to do that?
Oh, yeah? Well, I'm rolling in it.
Hold it. Another disclaimer. Didn't the Pirates just sweep a series?
No.
I know.
No.
Okay,
They did
they were
not.
close.
2 out of 3.
But Al Levine, the talking machine.
Oh, go
Why
ahead.
ain't you-
I didn't know you were still there.
Why ain't you and Chip in the VIP telling me that white folk like chicken? I'm going to Kentucky Fried Chicken today. I couldn't get a seat for all the white folks in there eating chicken, Al Levine, the talking machine. So I tried to call online, and this lady hands me a note. She says, pardon my interruption, Smoking Jim, tell Alan Levine, the talking machine, Renee said hello. Renee said hello. Al Levine, the
Where
talking
at?
machine, in Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Was she a short, dark-haired lady?
She was a beauty. She had a mask on. Al Levine, I gave her a big hug. Then Al Levine, the talking machine. I tell you what, it's good to have white friends. This place is packed. All I want to do is sit down and have a couple pieces of dark meat. It's a good luck before the show. Al Levine, the talking machine. Guess I hear somebody crying and saying, I want to go to Gateway. I look over. It's Devin Shea's 7-year-old son, Anthony. Devin Shea and his family's
Another
in
Anthony.
there.
A3.
They in there.
A3.
They're in there, and they let me sit down, and I broke bread with them. And boy, they can eat some chicken. Al Levine.
Was his wife Danny there?
She pretty as she can be. And
Because
he
you
said,
didn't mention
Yeah,
her,
and you
so I
would
knew
have
something.
known that if you'd have been at his wedding.
I missed the wedding. I was on my way.
Smoking
I was
Jim.
on my way.
This is like the 4th disclaimer. Smoking Jim promised Devin and his beautiful wife he would be there.
I was going to go.
I'm there early like I always am. And they said, is Smoking Jim coming? And I go, no. And they're like, every one of them told me. And I go, you call him. They all called him. He wasn't answering his phone because he only takes text messages.
I was there with my wife.
Stephanie and Stephanie goes, I know he'll come. He wanted to see me. He even said that. You broke her heart. Devin, Danny, the kids, everybody was upset. I was collecting money. They were betting $1, $2, $20. I was able to give them a wedding present.
Well, I tell you what, I'm going to wrap it up in 15 seconds. It's been the worst week of my life, Al Levine, the talking machine.
7, 8,
the Pirates
9,
have been costing
10,
me money.
11, 12,
I
13,
lay-
14, 15.
Last week I told you I was putting everything I own, even my $2,000 autograph Troy Polamalu portrait that he sent me, Al Levine. I hawked that, put everything on Tampa Bay, and they didn't win by 8.5, Al Levine, the talking machine. So I wanted to make all that money back. I put everything I could get on Buffalo.
One question.
Buffalo could never lose at home.
One question. You're talking money. You only talked about a $2,000 signature, but you never sold anything. You only bet $250 a day, and you won't tell us how much you bet to lose when you even threw the painting in on that,
And
or
that's
the
what's
autograph.
That's what's on my mind. I lost big this week, Al Levine.
In other words, folks, we don't know whether it's true or not. But he is an honest man. He told us last week he was betting a house and everything. So he didn't make it.
I lost one time with the Pirates, and I'm coming across the bridge, and they shut off fireworks just to rub it in. You know it, Chip.
All right, let's move on. Thank you, Smoking Jim. And shout out to Chris Dempsey, first UFC fighter from the Pittsburgh area, is watching us tonight. So you just heard Smoking Jim. You know how he is.
That's my man.
All right, Chip Painter, what's on your mind?
Ambridge is 0-3, by the way. I just don't
See how negative he goes?
I thought Casey didn't know.
He lives right there.
All right.
I'm like you.
All right. Well, I'm back in the saddle again after a couple of weeks of a hiatus. It's great to see everybody.
We missed you, Chip.
First weekend of the NFL season, it did nothing more than to prove to me that as much as things always change, some things always stay the same. The Pittsburgh Steelers won their season opener, and the Cleveland Browns lost theirs.
They haven't won an opener since 2004.
What else is new? All of the experts, okay?
All
of the experts. None of them gave anybody a chance. They gave the Steelers a chance. They didn't give the Cowboys a chance to even be in the same game with the Packers. They didn't give the Raiders a chance against the Baltimore Ravens.
Right.
And all of them are staring at a losing record.
What about our expert? What did he say?
In the same boat.
The best advice he ever gave me was don't listen to anyone.
Thank you. Hold it. What did I tell all of you after his predictions? If you don't bet, don't start. If you do bet, do the opposite.
But
A winner.
But, what's on my mind is after watching the Steelers play on Sunday and the fact that the team that everybody picked to go to the Super Bowl in the AFC, the Steelers had no business being in that game, yet they won the game. And this Steelers team is going to do nothing but get better as the season goes on. They played very disjointedly in the first half.
Look at that offensive line.
And it can do nothing but get better. And then I look at what Al Villanueva did last night against the Raiders, and Louis Riddick said he got beat on every single play. So,
I give him credit for signing with the Ravens because he did look like a broken gate.
Well, that'll bode well for T.J. Watts and for Melvin Ingram. And,
One interruption. Did you notice that T.J. Watt was held almost on every play and there wasn't a flag?
Well, and
how do you grab him around the neck? A2 said you see they were holding him around his neck.
Well, what drives me crazy about sports talk more than anything is that sports talk show hosts try to create the drama and create stories instead of just reporting on them.
Right.
So they created this big rift with the Steelers over T.J. Watt's contract. And it was much ado about nothing because everybody knew that the Steelers were going to sign T.J. Watt to the biggest contract ever, and they were going to do it when they got good and ready to do it.
Sure.
Not a minute before. And it didn't matter how much people pushed and prodded and criticized the Steelers for their way of doing business. And then they proved to everybody that they were foolish because the Steelers did exactly what everybody said they wouldn't do.
And to interrupt you again, who was ready to play at the same greatest linebacker of all time that Smokin' Jim said was Watt? He was ready to play, and he didn't do anything in training camp.
What was it that Mike Tomlin said about him? He's one of those players that he could roll out of bed in the middle of March and get you 2 sacks.
Yeah.
Wonder how long it took Tomlin to think of that.
Smokin' Jim.
Is he taking some of your quotes?
Here's another disclaimer.
But that's what's on my mind.
Yeah.
Is he stealing some of your quotes?
No. Here's a disclaimer. Unlike Smokin' Jim, he's a good writer, so we hear.
Great.
But he doesn't read. He has 1,000 books in his house and 4,000 sweetie picks, and he doesn't read. So when Tomlin reads, like the rubber meets the road, everybody knows when a car goes on the road, the rubber's meeting the road. That's been in the history books. That's not a new thing.
You know what?
The rubber hits the road.
You know what makes
Yes.
Jim? You know what makes Jim such a great writer? Spell check.
On that, we're going to go to Nick Callis. What's on your mind, Nick?
The Steelers are going to the Super Bowl. Hey, Smokin' Jim.
Yes, sir.
A week or two ago. What do you say? 8-9, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and how many of those games did I go, probably, maybe not. They'll probably win like 10 or 11, right?
give you
Yeah,
credit.
they're going to the Super Bowl. And that's why I put a banner up, because they're great, and the defense looked great, and the offense was like okay, but did it good enough to win. Let's go Steelers! I'm excited for the season now. Everyone counted them out. Chip, you're going to add logic into this, and this is not a place for logic. I trust that you're going to be logical.
No, not even a bit. Not even a bit.
Good.
How could the worst coaching staff in the history of the NFL go in at halftime and make adjustments and beat the favorite to win the AFC?
Yeah, Smoking Jim, you want to relook at that list for next week because you don't have it? Let's readjust it, all right? Have some faith.
We're going to have to pull the tape up because the way he writes and keeps stuff, it's gone.
One
gone.
One William and Mary coach beat the other William and Mary coach. I mean,
you didn't think the Steelers were going to win,
no,
though?
I didn't.
You thought,
I put my money where my mouth.
I want to ask you that now as well because that's on my mind. How many?
Pocket.
Which opponent after they've established in week 1 that they could beat the Bills? Who do you think now other teams that they could beat?
Can beat or go lose to?
No, who they could beat still.
He goes negative. He can't go winning.
No, you understand what I mean? How many teams now do you think they could beat because they beat the Bills?
It's not in his mind. He looks for negative.
I think they can beat Detroit, but I don't think they
You already said they were going to beat Detroit. I'm not getting an answer. Let's go Steelers.
I don't know
I'm
who
pumped.
they're on their schedule.
He wanted to know who you picked the Steelers would lose to.
You had a whole list a week or
win.
two ago. And we talked
You
about
said
it.
9 losses.
I don't know if do they play Detroit?
Have you ever had a concussion?
They play the Jets.
Have you ever had a concussion?
I'm trying to find a win for him.
He's babbling now. We're going to move on to me. Well, Steelers were on my mind because not only do I try not to listen much to Smokin' Jim's predictions, and he was right about T.J. Watt. He was right about Ike Taylor, but we have no proof of
and
the
Jarvis
Ike Taylor.
Jones.
Yeah,
Thank
right.
you, sir.
But we have no proof of the Ike Taylor because there are no witnesses. But that's a minor point.
Oh, you mean alive?
Well, no. No. And Smokin' Jim, if Renee wrote that, Renee works at Giant Eagle. And she came to our show once because she grew up in Munhall. And when we had Zach Brenner on the show, she wanted to meet him at Sips.
I remember.
So she did come to our show then.
You don't think I remember?
I know you don't. That goes without saying. Very nice person, and she's great. Helps me out every time I go to the Market District up there at Giant Eagle. She's a superstar there. But my thing was about the Steelers here, and everybody talk about how negative the Steelers were. Well, the line was very discombobulated from being a guy that played center on a line. They had no real cohesion, and the running game really wasn't there. Najee made a couple runs, even an 18-yard run, on a couple of the ones where he gained 2 or 3 yards. Last year, they'd have been 5-yard losses because it was all on him. So he has some skills. And like I'm saying with the other guys that are positive, like Chip and Nick, Smokin' Jim doesn't matter, even though he's an NFL Steelers scout at this point, that they're going to get better. Because as they play longer and play together, they will get better. Dante Johnson had a nice touchdown catch. Look at the block punt we had. The defense, 4 men rushing, gave Josh Allen a headache on every play.
Well, wait a minute. Wasn't Cam Hayward, shouldn't he retire, right? Mm-hmm. He played the game of his life on Sunday.
Good point.
He had the most quarterback pressures of anybody in the NFL this past weekend.
Yeah.
That was according to Pro Football Focus.
Thank you, Chip. I appreciate that, and that goes with my theme. What are you predicting this week, Smokin' Jim, so we can get out of my what's on your mind?
Well, I love that punt return by Buffalo, the kickoff return by Buffalo. That was the play of the game.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I love when Ben shoot out Najee Harris. I enjoyed that.
Sure.
Prediction.
Again, he goes negative.
Las Vegas Raiders going to be hard to beat.
Okay.
They got that Carr quarterback.
How did they luck out in that overtime game and win? We're going to do a special.
I was watching Columbo. I didn't see it.
Oh, okay.
We're going to do a special first time ever after the show NFL 15-minute segment that'll be on our shows when they show up on TV, the 5 to 9 times that they're on in the next week or so. So we're going to do that after the show. We're going to hang around a little bit. A1 come up with this great idea, and he has some information and video stuff, but he's going to let us talk for maybe a couple minutes, so we'll try to fit it in. So look forward to that, and we're going to come back with some fiction and fact from Smokin' Jim's Almanac.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And in lieu of time, and because I'm a big fan of Chip, and Chip got a lot of fans out here, I'm going to pass my time on to my main man.
You just don't want to talk because the Steelers won this weekend. Yeah.
And the Pirates cost them money.
Yeah.
So, everybody, welcome back. And another historic milestone was made Sunday afternoon in Major League Baseball. There's a new member to an exclusive club that has 19 members currently. And that would be Max Scherzer, who joined the 3,000 Strikeout Club. Wow. In Major League Baseball, the 3,000 Strikeout Club is a group of pitchers who have struck out 3,000 or more batters in their careers. Walter Johnson, the big train, was the first to reach 3,000, doing so in 1923.
Wow.
And was the only pitcher at this milestone for 50 years.
50.
Until Bob Gibson reached his 3,000th strikeout
That was one of
in
my heroes.
1974. In total, 19 pitchers have reached 3,000 strikeouts. Max Scherzer, the most recent club member, joined in September 12th, 2021. CC Sabathia recently joined Steve Carlton and Randy Johnson as the only left-handed pitchers
Right.
in this group. Randy Johnson was the quickest pitcher to 3,000 strikeouts, taking fewer games pitched or innings pitched than any other pitcher.
Wow.
Cesar Geronimo is the only player struck out by two different pitchers for their 3,000 strikeout. First by Gibson in 1974, second by Nolan Ryan in 1980.
Wow.
The Minnesota Twins were the first of four franchises to see multiple pitchers record their 3,000 strikeout on their roster. First, Walter Johnson, while the franchise was called the Washington Senators.
Whoa.
In 1923, then Bert Blyleven in 1986. The Chicago Cubs, the Yankees, and the Astros are the others, with Ferguson Jenkins and Greg Maddux for the Cubs, Phil Niekro and CC Sabathia for the Yankees, and Nolan Ryan and Justin Verlander for the Astros.
Wow.
The 10 3,000 strikeout pitchers are also members of the 300 Win Club. 7 pitchers from this club were named amongst the 100 greatest players in Major League Baseball history as part of the All-Century team, 4 of whom were eventually voted as starters for the team by fan vote.
Wow.
Membership in the 3,000 Club is often described as a guarantee of eventual entry into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Randy Johnson, Pedro Martinez, John Smoltz, the most recently elected individuals, all voted in during the 2015 balloting. Of the 16 eligible members of the 3,000 Strikeout Club, 14 have been elected to the Hall. And the 2 who have appeared on the Hall of Fame ballot but have not yet been elected, Roger Clemens and Curt Schilling, both made their first appearances on the ballots in 2013. Each received only about half of the total votes needed for induction, with Schilling earning slightly more votes than Clemens. Clemens' future election is seen as uncertain because of his alleged links to the use of performance-enhancing drugs. Eligibility requires that a player has been retired for 4 seasons or deceased for at least 6 months. So, welcome to the 3,000 Strikeout Club, Max Scherzer. And the interesting thing about the game Sunday, I was following along with the game while I was taking my helicopter tour of Pittsburgh.
Nice.
For a belated birthday present from my darling wife, was that he had a perfect game going until there were 2 outs in the 8th.
Wow.
When, what's his name, Hosmer hit a double to left center field, because the Dodgers were playing the Padres.
Sure.
And Eric Hosmer, that's his name. Mm-hmm. Eric Hosmer hit a double with 2 out in the 8th. So wouldn't that have been something to have pitched a perfect game while you got your 3,000 strikeout, but wasn't meant to be.
Wow, that would have been something.
Mm-hmm. Now, next, I do want to make a comment. I was down at PNC Park on Saturday, and what a moving tribute to the brave souls that lost their lives on Flight 93. The family members and friends of the victims of that flight were all there, and they had the first responders and firefighters and every unfurl a flag, an American flag that stretched from foul pole to foul pole, while they sang the national anthem. So, and then on 9/11, a no-hitter was pitched, the 9th of the season, and it wasn't done by one pitcher. It was a combined no-hitter.
Yeah.
The Milwaukee Brewers no-hit. I think it was the Arizona Diamondbacks that day.
Yeah.
So quite an eventful weekend in Major League Baseball.
No doubt.
You had a question.
Yeah, I got a question, and it's going to be for you. If you can't answer it, I'm sure
No, if I don't know the answer, I'll make one up.
the VIP could answer. Do you think it's harder in today's baseball to get 3,000 strikeouts because of the rotation than it has been in the past because there was less pitchers?
No, actually, I think
rotation.
it's easier now because the quality of the hitting in Major League Baseball is at its absolute worst in the last
Okay.
50 years. So batters are striking out at a higher rate, and the strikeouts per game are up. So if you're a strikeout pitcher, it's time to feast.
When you agree that was a good question because the rotation is 5 now, and in the past used to be 4. So they won't get as much.
Well, and
opportunity
besides that, pitchers would pitch longer. Now pitchers
Good point.
they call 4.5
Good
innings
point.
a good
I
outing.
didn't think of that.
But I mean,
Well, you didn't know.
If you
That's
look
all
back
right.
into the history of baseball, even in the 60s and 70s, the number of complete games pitched compared to now,
Oh,
you can count on one hand the number of complete games pitched, I bet,
Good
in the
point.
major leagues this year.
Well, don't forget, now the season's 162 games. Back when Walter Johnson pitched, I think it was less than 145.
154.
154.
154.
What year did he pitch in the 1910s or something?
23.
23.
Yeah.
Okay. They were only at 100. Okay.
Well, under 1900, they were probably.
I thought they were
less.
still at 145 games back then, but
It might have
that's a
been.
discussion for another day.
Yeah.
Long season.
You can research it.
Yes. The Steelers are going to the Super Bowl. Not what I'm going to talk about in my opinion today, even though I'm just
Double
out
header.
here.
That's a double header.
Yeah, I'm out in Steeler garb today. Still mad at Smoking Jim for doubting the Steelers.
How
Anyway,
can you get mad at the nicest guy in media?
oh, just a little bit. No, this gave me
Just because he's negative? He thrives on negativity.
He does.
Yeah.
He does. But I'm
Glad-
so
glad
optimistic
we could
about the
have
Steelers.
the discussion. Carry
That's what
on.
I'm saying. Let's talk about baseball a little bit because I was thinking about.
Well, Chip Legend on that. He talked baseball.
Yeah,
Okay.
something different though. Talking about jersey numbers, I mentioned a couple weeks ago about how jersey numbers didn't mean much back then, but now they mean so much. And Major League Baseball made the decision to have Roberto Clemente's number 21 be worn by anybody in the league who wants to honor him tomorrow on Roberto Clemente Day. So I think that's a pretty good thing, and I support that decision. About him getting his number retired all across Major League Baseball,
No.
I'm not certain on it. I look at both sides of it, and I'm like, well, if they do that to another player, does that make Jackie Robinson's as special? It still might, but how much? When you think about it, how much did Roberto Clemente do for international players? Giving them support and giving them hope and dreams for being able to come to America and play baseball. I mean, he was one of the pioneers to do that when he played for the Pirates. So, I think that they should. I'll put that opinion out there. I think that they should.
Roberto Clemente did every bit as much for Latin American players as Jackie Robinson did for African Americans.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
every bit. He was the first MVP winner. I believe he may have been the first Latin-born player elected into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and
even though
3,000 hitter.
posthumously.
And 3,000 hitter.
And with 3,000. But more importantly, he opened up the, for Latin American players the same way the doors got opened for African American players by Jackie Robinson being allowed to play in the majors. So I personally feel across Major League Baseball, number 21
I agree with you.
should be
No, I
retired.
mean,
I'll
I agree with that.
I agree with both of you because he changed the whole mentality of baseball. Where
Yeah.
all of a sudden, South America, the islands meant something, Puerto Rico, where before You didn't hear about it. They barnstormed with players back then because it was popular baseball.
We agree to disagree.
No, we disagree
No, I
100%
when
with
you think about
On
it,
what premise?
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into it.
all right. Well, at
Well,
any
don't
rate,
know. Chip, he don't know. He don't know.
Well, if you,
When-
you've got to take, you got to have a reason.
He doesn't have one. He's eating.
but anyway, I think that, I thought about it, and I'm like, when you do research and you study, because I wasn't born when Roberto Clemente played, so I'm just like thinking about all he actually has done and what a community guy he was. How good of a baseball player he was, and the fact that he died
You
in
wasn't
the
even
active character.
born.
He just said that.
Did you hear the story
I did.
about Neil Walker's father?
I did.
Did you
Tom
hear-
Walker was supposed to go.
He
Roberto was like,
Roberto
no.
told him not to
to
get
go.
on the plane,
Yeah.
and had that not happened, Neil Walker would have never been born.
Yeah, so that's
Just for that,
That's a
Smoking
crazy
Jim,
story.
how can you say not to retire his number?
Well, we all consider Roberto, all us black folks or Negroes or African Americans, whatever y'all calling us this week, we all consider
What do you
Roberto-
call yourself?
We all consider
What do you
Roberto-
call yourself?
we all consider,
What do you call
We all
yourself?
consider Roberto Clemente black. Now, y'all can have
okay.
A-Rod.
I think I'm going to stop you right
Y'all
there.
can have
I think I'm
A-Rod,
going to stop you
but
right
we're
there.
going to keep Roberto
I'm gonna-
Clemente
I'll stop you right
in the
there.
African-American
I'll stop-
community.
One more thing I want to mention, so I'm going to stop you right there.
You going to talk about what
Nope.
the black
nope.
folks
Nope.
think?
Nope.
You're only one,
Nope.
and we don't know what the heck you think.
Oh, good. No, but for tomorrow they're going to honor somebody with the Roberto Clemente Award on Roberto Clemente Day around the league. I cast 2 votes online. Joe Musgrove from the Padres because he's great. The Pirates got rid of him and he's still doing well for the Padres. And Trey Mancini for the Orioles because he's done a lot for the community I know in Baltimore, and I know that he survived a cancer diagnosis.
You don't think Jacob Stallings is a worthy candidate?
Not in front of Mancini. That's a good point. Stallings is all right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Especially you being a catcher.
Yeah, the Pirates aren't good though, so I don't want to.
Well, you
Against
can't
the
hold
Orioles.
it
Doesn't have to
against
do.
a
It doesn't have
guy.
anything to do with how their team performs
Yeah.
on the field.
You can't
About
hold
how
it
they
against a
perform
guy.
individually. Great defensively.
No, it's not about how they perform on the field.
What
It's
they
It
do.
is.
it's
I
a-
read the prompt online. It's about how they perform on and off the field, how they hold themselves. I like how Trey Mancini holds himself, and I also like how Joe Musgrove holds himself, and he brought the city of San Diego together by throwing their first
If
no-hitter
Trey
in franchise
Mancini
history.
wasn't a cancer survivor, would you feel differently about him?
No, because he still has done a lot for the Baltimore community that I know of. So I mean,
Because to be honest with you, I don't think anybody would know who he is.
but
To be
Stallings will
honest.
be my 3, but I didn't cast a vote. Maybe I'll go in later today and vote Stallings. That'll make everybody
You could
happy.
do.
But
And
those are
one-
my top
one
2:
little
Mancini
side-
and Musgrove.
One little side note. I don't know if Smoking Jim understands because speaking from his perspective, I don't care what color you are, but where was Roberto born?
When you look at him, what
No,
you
no,
think?
no.
When you look at him, what do you think? I'm just asking.
Let
I don't
me-
know where he was born.
I'll
But when
ask
I
the
look
question.
at
Okay.
him, when I look at him, look like he was born in Homewood.
Now, here's a problem with my Gateway and Cal U educated
Was he
guy.
born in Hazelwood?
No,
You know, I like to ask one simple question, and the simple question is, where was Roberto Clemente born? And he's a legend in that country.
where was he born? Smoking Jim.
Well, can I ask you
No.
something? 'Cause I don't know where he was born.
You got to answer.
I
Chip
don't know
just
where he
showed
was
you.
born.
Porque Isla Verde, Carolina, Puerto Rico.
Thank you, Chip.
Well, he,
In other words,
Puerto
whatever
Rico.
Smoking Jim says now
And he had
does
to-
not mean a thing.
Smoking
had-
Jim.
He
and he
didn't
had to
answer
catch
the
a boat
question.
over here like the rest of us. Listen,
Okay.
listen, Al Levine, the talking machine. When the Pirates set the record 50 years ago, you can't have it both ways. When they set the record 50 years ago of starting all black players,
No, it was no because they weren't
Roberto
all
was
black.
there.
No,
He
that's
was
not true.
black.
No,
that's
they
not
weren't
true.
all black because Jackie Hernandez was Latin American as well. See,
It was just an all. It was.
Jackie Hernandez was the starting shortstop, my
And he
friend.
was darker than me.
It was an all international team. But yeah, anyway.
That's what they say 50
They
years.
said it was an all minority team, is what they said it was.
Yeah.
No, they said all black team. That's how
You
it
made it.
That's what it says in the Courier.
Prove it.
All black team.
Prove it.
Pittsburgh Courier.
Prove it.
Oh, he might be right. Smoking Jim
Let
might
me
be
see
right.
it.
Thank
Copy.
you. Thank you.
No, now that I think about
Google it.
because international wouldn't. This is a
Google it.
discussion.
Let me see the proof.
Well, people can change.
I'm good with ending the segment.
People
Al.
can change.
Whenever you're ready.
But it was all black.
But you can't.
We'll
you
leave
can't
that
prove it.
discussion for another day. Smoking Jim's told us about the new Pittsburgh Courier.
Y'all forced me into it today.
The new Pittsburgh Courier was known as a legendary black newspaper.
I wrote for it.
And they were around a long time before Smoking Jim. And he told me he can't interview certain people. Like he told me, Machine, I'd love to interview you, but they won't let me. So I go, thanks for nothing, Smoking Jim. And we're going to move on right now. Thank you, Nick. Great segment, by the way, except for Smoking Jim's non-questions and non-answers. How can a man so smart from Cal U and Gateway not answer a simple question?
So here, this is from his Wikipedia page. After his early death, he was posthumously inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame, becoming both the first Caribbean and first Latino American player to be enshrined.
Wow. Where'd you get that, Chip?
His Wikipedia page.
Thank you. Just wanted to clarify that.
Just the
for
facts.
The non-reading guy, Smoking Jim Frazier, unless you talk Bitcoins.
Oh, I thought you were going somewhere else.
No.
Gotta spell it.
No. I had to put it. I just put it out there.
It's
for
a family show. We don't want to get censored.
Right. And just to show you the mentality of Smoking Jim, he doesn't know what I spelled out, but yet that's supposed to be his new name. So it's too much CTE for Smoking Jim. We'll go to my segment now, I think. On location, I did the Rev 'em Up for kids, and then I did that car cruise. That was an on location. Then I got asked to do the Joey Fabus 5K 1 mile walk and run. And like I said, great turnout. And then we got October 9th coming up for USS Fight Academy. So that's on location. We'll see what else comes our way, but it's sort of quiet. I wanted to just roll into sports, so we won't go to a segment. We can talk Steelers. We can talk whatever sports we want right now. But I'm just proud of the Steelers stepping up. And what was interesting is 10-0 at the half. And I'm looking at the game and I go, they didn't really play that bad, but I wonder if they can get better in the second half. Sure enough, 26 points. And the defense held the other team, Buffalo, who were supposed to be world champions this year, to 7 points. So, what a shock.
The Steelers are going to the Super Bowl. I'm happy.
Triple header.
No, I do agree though in a more reasonable sense. The Steelers' offense didn't look great in the first half. I think that they kind of got it together more in the second half. It's good that they're making adjustments.
They scored. They even had a block punt.
The thing about the Steelers' offense, the thing that struck me is the number of weapons that are available on the Steelers' offense, from Chase Claypool being a great deep ball threat. And if you throw him the deep ball, you don't have to worry about him catching it because he'll draw the pass interference call.
Yes, sir.
Deontay Johnson has moments of greatness. If he can,
he led the league in drops last year.
Well, and if he can,
but he was also
if he can cure that bug,
right?
Freiermuth is going to be a big star in this game.
It's a shame the tight ends only had a pass each.
And Juju Smith-Schuster is, will fulfill his role. He's not. He proved last year that he wasn't a number one receiver, but he's a great complementary piece.
Right.
And once, with the receivers that Ben's got, it's going to spread the field, and it's going to make running lanes available for Najee Harris. And as the offensive line starts to mature and grow, we're going to see a much more well-balanced attack. And it looked like they came out of training camp because what do they do in training camp? They don't tackle, they don't hit, they don't.
And no starters playing the games.
No starters playing the games. So basically, the first 2 or 3 games of the year is what they should have done in the preseason. But
how'd so many Ravens get hurt then if they're not hitting hard?
They're training. I go to their training methods. How do you have 6 guys with ACLs? I'm noticing a pattern.
Well,
and usually somebody's not stretching or doing something for these players.
Stretching is
but
important.
wait a minute. you have John Harbaugh, who is a great coach. Let's give him his props.
Yeah.
But it's so important for him to remain undefeated in the preseason. Was it worth it to be undefeated in the preseason and to lose that many players? Wouldn't have he been better off to lose a game or two and have the 6 guys that are out with season-ending injuries on his
Right.
roster right
And
now?
they have
the
11
Ravens don't live in their fears. They don't live.
Well,
Yeah,
they
well,
also have 11 players that Smoking Jim calls them a piece of meat.
But
So
here's-
there's 11 injured guys.
I want to
So
get everybody's
conference.
opinion. Nick, how many weeks do you think before Le'Veon Bell's on the injured reserve?
If he plays well.
2 weeks that he's on the injured reserve.
I-
What do
no.
you think?
4 weeks.
4 weeks. How many?
I think it'll be ready next week. Is
No,
he
no,
hurt?
No,
Is he-
no.
before he goes on
not
the
yet.
injured reserve.
before
No,
he-
yet the first time he gets tackled, he's going to get
I'll
a
give him
hang now.
4. I'll go with
I'm
that.
hope-
Yeah,
I think
I'm for
I
it.
think he's going to have a big year behind that big offensive
Well, he ain't
line. They
going to
got
have a
good
big year
fullback.
because he's not got guaranteed money.
Oh, that's
You
true, too.
know what I mean?
That's true, too.
So he's going to get hurt in practice. He's going to get hurt in warm-ups, pull groin muscle or
Well, I
something.
tell you
along
who's
that.
going to the Pro Bowl again is Antonio Brown. Boy, did he look good.
Did he?
Yeah.
I hadn't noticed.
First half, he had like 150 yards. In the
Oh,
first
come
half
on.
of the second.
How could he have 150 in the first half and only end up the game with 125?
Is that what it was?
Okay.
I said, ball. I didn't know. Is
What
that
did he
he
do, run
ended up-
backwards?
Is that what he ended-
CTE strikes
I knew he
again.
had a bunch. I didn't know. 120. I
Okay,
don't
not
think
that
he
I,
got
not that I
anything
was
to
paying
say there.
attention, nor do I care. But
Smoking Jim, what'd you think of the Steelers?
Oh, I love Tom Brady.
Excuse me, can you roll the tape back? Can you roll the tape back?
Oh, no, I know you asked that. Smoking Jim, did you know that you love Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, but they cost you money because they only won by 2 points? Yeah. How about that? Yeah.
But I tell you what, man.
Well done.
I thought of my man Chipper when the crying baby, Aaron
it
Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers.
Karen Rodgers.
Karen Rodgers got bitched.
the-
I said, Chip, I know Chip is.
well, no, since you brought her up, okay, makes the biggest fuss of anybody, criticizes the ownership, criticizes the coaching staff, criticizes everything. Let me tell you something. The Green Bay Packers have been playing winning football for the past 50 or 60 years,
Yeah.
long before Karen Rodgers was ever born. And what has he won lately? Let me see. It's been 11 years since you did anything worth note. Okay, so you may have won an MVP award.
He beat Tomlin.
But you choked against the Bucks last year, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
And Tom Brady in his wheelchair.
All he had to do was run it in. It was a touchdown.
Oh well, that was a business decision.
Yeah.
I
You
did
know?
see, Facebook's a great place for stats. No, I'm just
So-
kidding. But I saw that, who they lose to? The Saints, right? The Saints beat the Buccaneers last opening week, and then the Buccaneers won the Super Bowl. Same score, 38-3.
Well, I'll tell you this.
Suspicion.
You can improve after one game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers
Like your
still
logic.
came out and criticized the Green Bay Packers
Wow.
after he laid that big egg.
Wow.
And here's what Aaron Rodgers needs to do. He needs to shut up and play football. Remember, you're an employee, not an owner.
I agree. Well said.
Definitely. And thank you, Smoking Jim, being a Steeler scout, for saying you love Tom Brady. It made no sense. But we're used to that. Chip, what do you think about the Pirates season since we're running out of
Well,
games? now?
the Pirates season has been abysmal at best.
Right.
They've got 19 games left, and 9 of those 19 are against the Cincinnati Reds.
Whoa.
They got a series going on right now. Last I checked, the Pirates were winning, but we'll see where we're at. Still 3-0, top of the 5th.
Whoa, Smoking Jim could lose another 250.
Top of the
Yeah.
5th. 2 outs. Pirates are up 3-0. They scored 3 in the top of the 1st.
Nice.
Marlins, right?
But the Pittsburgh Pirates did what needed to be done to the franchise this year.
Yeah.
They had to tear it completely down to rebuild it. I
Right.
mean, you couldn't do any half measures, and it was great to see Josh Bell at PNC Park again
Yeah.
last weekend, doing pretty well for the Washington Nationals.
Right.
26 home runs. He still can't throw the ball to second base.
Right.
But at least now he knows he can't. So when the ball was hit to him and he had the option to throw it up second base, he decided to just eat it and step on first base and get the one out instead of having the runners circling the bases. So he's gotten a little bit better. And I really don't have anything negative to say about Josh Bell. Great player while he was here.
Right.
Great for the community. Represented the Pittsburgh Pirates in the city of Pittsburgh well.
Sure.
But
moved on.
For the Pirates to get better, because remember, with him last year, they were the worst team in baseball.
Right.
So for the Pirates to get better, like I said, they had to tear it down to the foundation and start rebuilding, and that's what we're in the midst of.
Well, I'm hopeful, like you say, and I've talked to a couple friends that are into baseball a little more than Smoking Jim. Doesn't have a clue. But when you get 30 new players, the theory is if you get one or two good players and you got a few average players, you're ahead of the game and you've built your system up where these players feed into the major leagues, which Smoking Jim doesn't understand with pitching, hitting, catching, etc. It does help the team.
And the one thing that people fail to realize is that in 2020 there was no minor league baseball played. So that meant that all the players that were in the minor leagues lost a year of development. So now they're a year behind where they would normally be because hitting in a batting cage is never going to be anything like hitting live pitching. So
every team has that.
Well, we're almost out of time.
Can I say one thing?
Quickly. That's it.
Pirates is up to 52 wins. They can't get to 57 or I'll lose a lot of money. Chip, whip a slow down. I need VIP whip a slow down on the Pirates.
On that happy note, we're going to have to end this show. Hopefully we enjoyed you a little bit. And Smoking Jim's a good guy. Try not to pick on him, but he says such outrageous things that from the dictionary to checking Funkin' Wagnalls and Google, you'll find out the truth. So please stay Joey strong.